Good afternoon, Year 9. This is just to give you a little bit of help with some of the work I've set so far. So, yesterday and today, you're working through this food security booklet, and I've asked you yesterday to complete pages 1 to 4, and today you're completing up until page 8. So, just a reminder, you need to just answer the questions in the green cell. So the first activity, you need to provide a definition of what is food security. And here you need to write a definition or write a little explanation about what might stop people from accessing food. So physical access. Okay, so maybe think how people in some particular countries might have to walk really long distances to try and access food. They don't have supermarkets on the corner. We've got social access. So maybe where they are in their society, so just say they're at the bottom of the social system, maybe they find it harder to access food, okay? Particularly in countries that maybe have something like a caste system or have lower, middle, and higher classes in their society. Economic access, remember, economy has to do with money, okay? So not being able to afford food. Dietary needs. So lots of people have different dietary needs for health reasons. Maybe they're allergic to a particular type of food. So sometimes they can't access food that is going to be good for them. Okay. And last but not least, food preference. This is something that we all have. Maybe your food preference is that you don't like chocolate or you prefer lollies over chocolate. Okay, so that's what that's getting you to think about. So question 2 is just an opinion. Okay, why is food security so complex? And I guess these are the reasons why. There's so many different factors that might stop us accessing food. Okay, so then what you have over here, you've got a couple of different definitions. So you've got chronic food insecurity and transitory food insecurity. So chronic food insecurity is when in a country you can't access food for a long period of time. Maybe there's poverty, maybe there's drought. Okay, so there's lots of things that might be stopping access to food. Transitionary food security, this is when some foods are not available for just a short period of time. Think about at the moment, okay, if you go to the supermarket, you probably can't get certain items like pasta and flour. We would say this is short term and temporary. We know we'll get these items again soon. We'll get them in limited supplies, but it's not going to be something permanent. Okay, so you have to then here distinguish. So tell me the differences between chronic food security and transitory food security. If you scroll down to page 4, okay, this is practicing some mapping skills. So these are countries around the world where food insecurity is experienced. Okay, so the blue indicates that how much of the population is undernourished. So you can sort of see as it gets towards the color red, these countries mean or indicate that a lot of people in these countries are undernourished. They're not really getting access to healthy foods. Okay, so you've got some questions here. So very low is this blue color, moderately low is this one, moderately high is this one, high is this one, and very high is the red. So you're literally just naming some countries, matching them up with what you see on the map. Okay, question 5, describe the spatial distribution of food security and undernourishment around the world. So you might talk about what you can see. So obviously in parts of Asia, you get higher amounts of undernourishment. And in addition, I guess the countries that have very high undernourishment are in Africa. Okay, and generally we refer to these countries as developing countries. Okay, so for today's work, you needed, I will probably start a new screencast So keep an ear out and a lookout on Google Classroom.